The official countdown begins to Governor Siminalayi Fubara's return as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu lifts his suspension and emergency rule in Rivers. The state has endured months of political tension and uncertainty following his suspension, a move that split opinion across party lines and deepened divisions among stakeholders. Supporters say his comeback should restore legitimacy and heal fractures in governance, but critics warn it might reopen old wounds and fuel renewed instability. The People's Democratic Party is also warning Governor Siminalayi Fubara against any move to defect, while also demanding a full probe into the interim administration. Now, joining me to discuss this is Sam Johanna. He is the former organizing secretary of the APC, and also Wisdom Chap Jumbo is a public affairs analyst, and Noble, that's Nwolu, is a former youth president of Ogale. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. But before we get into this conversation, we have our correspondent on standby in Rivers State, Biola Fester. She's currently at the government house there. So I would like to, of course, bring up. Biola, it's great to have you. Biola, I understand that you're at the government house. What have you observed?
Good to be here always, Doctor. Well, this is the government house for perfect. No activities going on. It looks so empty tonight, except for the security trucks that are here. A handful of them, very few of them, I must say, compared to what we saw on the ground here on the day the emergency rule was declared. Well, we also heard from the grapevine that the sole administrator left the government house earlier today. The stakeholders spoke to us and informed us that in fact have left the government house. So as it stands right now, the government house is without any leadership or ruler whatsoever. So it may be until it's inside there. That's what we gathered from people, from trusted sources. So the emergency rule has been lifted beginning from midnight today. The governor is not in the state yet. We hope or expect him to be coming into state tomorrow, because the presidency stated that they should resume their offices tomorrow. That is, they suspend the governor and members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Well, while we got here to the government house to look at happenings around, I got a youth leader in Rivers State, an opinion leader in his LGA, and I asked him to share his views, thoughts with us on the latest happening in Rivers State, especially as the government house has been left vacant, just as those speculated today. Thank you for joining us, Ambassador Richard. So, Rivers State is likely it's going back to democratic view tomorrow. How does this sound to you?
Well, first, my name is Ambassador Richard, a youth leader and also a politician. Well, it sounds so nice. Of course, we preempt and tomorrow we are going to see the jubilation of Rivers people individually coming out from their different areas to be happy for the return of our governor, Siminalayi Fubara.
All right. So right now we have just few hours to go. Does it bother you? Is there anything wrong with the government house being left without a leader? I mean, some people have been saying that the sole administrator should have handed over to the governor, while others said he's got nothing to hand over to him. Where is your stand on this?
Well, I don't know. I'm not an insider to the administration of the sole, and of course, I don't have much to say. Government has processes. If it needs to hand over, of course, from the presidency, the policy, and he will be instructed to do that. And we know that definitely our joy is the take of tomorrow. From this midnight, Siminalayi Fubara is going to take over Rivers State, and our expectations are high. I think that those are the bottom line. We want to talk about our expectations. Of course, it's coming down to meet a lot of activities. Lots have been compiled. 6 months, there were no activities, nothing were happening. Army leaders, man from the Calabar extraction, as I remember precisely, we can say the truth to ourselves. There were no activities, everything were just on a stop. And the governor returning, of course, our expectations are high. We, the Rivers people, but first we're happy that he's coming back for whatever the injustice we feel that is melted on Rivers people. But, as God may have it, he's going to be back and he's going to be in full productivity and to deliver the dividend of democracy for Rivers people.
Thank you.
To ensure the activities they have left behind that were not solved by the administration.
Thank you.
Is going to kickstart.
Thank you so much. I must say thank you. Expectations are high. Is that going to be dancing tomorrow morning?
All right, Biola. I mean, it's been great. I mean, I understand that, of course, expectations are high, and people of Rivers are actually, anticipating the return of the governor. I mean, quite a couple of issues are really, will I call it, hanging right now. Part of it, which you raised, is the fact that the government house at the moment is vacant. The sole administrator is out of it, and right now we know that officially the governor is meant to resume tomorrow. But once again, Biola Festus, thank you so much. We'll definitely keep tabs with you as regards the happenings in Rivers State. It's been a pleasure having you on the program. Well, let's get into the crux of the conversation right now. Let's, of course, bring in Sam Yohana. He is the former organizing secretary of the All Progressives Congress. It's great to have you, Sam. First, let me start by asking you, what is your take on this, on what we understand, with Rivers State right now, the lifting of the state of emergency, and we also know of the fact that tomorrow the governor is expected to resume.
Good evening, Mr. Dapo, and good evening, listeners and viewers at home. The state of emergency has come and gone, and like your correspondents over there said, at the moment, there is no activity at the government house. The sole administrator have left earlier today, and Sim Fubara, as we learned earlier in the day, that he flew into the country, I think earlier today or last night. He's not been around for close to 1 month, and he's prepared to come and resume work. Well, I, for one, in the first place, never see this state of emergency as a way of resolving political issues. I would have preferred that these issues would have been handled very well at that time, and see how the legislators and the executive come together and be on one page. Be it as it may be, it has come and gone, and I hope now that the legislators will be back and the governor too will be back, they should come and see how they can work together and take Rivers to a higher position. I don't expect them to come and start with hunching each other, because from the reconciliation meetings they've had, they all agree that let bygone be bygone. And I think that's what they need for now, because if they go back to where they used to be, where they were confronting each other, there might not be meaningful progress in Rivers, and that will not help them. At the same time, might even be worse than what led to the state of emergency. So I will advise both the legislators and the governor to shield their sword and see how they can work together. In as much as we know that there's so many things that happen in the absence of the elected governor. Local council elections have taken place. The new local government chairman in place now. Some boards appointment, even as at last night, we learned that the sole administrator made some board appointment, which I don't know why those appointments should have taken place, because he already knew long ago that he's just there for months and he's going to leave. So we see how it goes. I always say, it's work in progress, and I think they will get over it.
All right, thank you so much. We'll go on a quick break, our very first break. When we return, I'll be bringing, of course, on Noble Nwolu, is the president of Ogale Youth Congress. We're speaking on this. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with, of course, us on News Central TV. Now, let's get into the crux of the conversation. I, of course, have joining me right now, Wisdom Chap Jumbo, is a public affairs analyst, and also joining is Noble Nwolu, is a former youth president of Ogale. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time. I still have Sam Yohana. Sam Yohana is the former organizing secretary of the APC. Now, let me ask you, Noble, are you excited that this state of emergency has been lifted and the governor will resume duties tomorrow?
Yes, I am very, very much excited. And why you have not heard noise and jubilation so far is because we don't want the president to change his mind. By midnight, when the governor takes over office, tomorrow morning you will know how happy Rivers people are.
No, but I'm sorry. I'm going to stop. I'm going to ask you. You said the reason why there's no noise yet is because you don't want the president to change his mind.
Yes, this is Nigeria. Anything can happen. So we don't want him to change his mind. He will be quiet till the governor assumes office by 12 o'clock, and by tomorrow morning you know how happy Rivers people are. You know, to live for 6 months without a father. Rivers people were like orphans, like fatherless people, and we are happy that our father is going to come back by midnight. So it's going to be a very loud jubilation tomorrow morning.
All right, let's look at some of the concerns that, of course, are raised. A part of it is, at the moment, it appears the state, in terms of leadership, is coasting. No one seems to be in charge as we speak. Do you see a political vacancy or, here? Do you see a vacuum here?
Yes, the vacuum has been there long because government is supposed to be continuity. And all the projects that the governor was ongoing, and as a matter of fact, after the state of emergency, the solar didn't even look at them. All the road projects, flyovers, everything just ceased. So I also saw that as a vacancy. So for him to leave the government house when the governor is not there yet and there is no arrangement for handover, it doesn't tell good for governance at all.
Maybe I should also direct the same question to Wisdom Chap Jumbo. Wisdom, it's great to have you as always. Do you see a political vacuum here right now in Rivers State? Because many are pretty much asking questions that, at least when this state of emergency was declared, was some sort of handover, so to speak. But right now, it looks like the state is running, at least for the next few hours, without some sort of maybe not directional, but leadership.
Thank you, Dakpo. I confirm you can hear me clearly.
Very well.
So, yeah. First of all, Dakpo, we want to say a big thank you to Mr. President for his divine intervention in the issues in Rivers State. And as we watch the transition to democratic, governance in the state, we cannot but thank Mr. President, because if I don't intervene at the time, we are not sure what indeed the state would have been looking like at this time. So the last 6 months has been 6 months of a lot of reflection on sustaining that peace that we have finally achieved. To your question, there is no vacuum, Dakpo. The governor assumes duty effective 12 a.m. September the 18th, as directed by the president in his statement earlier today. There's no vacuum. The sole administrator, from reports we are getting, has gone to Abuja, of course, for the necessary handovers to happen, to meet with Mr. President, to brief him accordingly, and for necessary handovers to happen. We also are aware that a lot of stakeholders from Rivers State are already in Abuja, and there will be certain meetings to happen just for some transition to happen, and then the governor returns to the state tomorrow. So there's no vacuum.
So if you insist, so if you insist that there is no vacuum, if I may ask you, so who's leading Rivers now? Who's the #1 citizen right now in Rivers State?
until 12 a.m., the 18th of September.
I think we lost communication there with Wisdom Chat Jumbo. If you can hear me, we seem to have lost, of course, communication with you. Once we have him back, definitely we'll take his thought. Wisdom, are you there? All right. Maybe I should also direct the same question to Sam Johanna. Sam, I'd like you to expand this conversation beyond just even Governor Sim Fubara. We know that his deputy too is returning. We know the State House too will resume work. What does this portend? And do you see the period between now and 12 a.m. tomorrow, do you see a political lacuna here?
I'm sure all things would have put in place to see that the gap presently being experienced in Rivers State wouldn't have caused any issue because both of them are not around. The sole administrator has left the state and the governor has not yet resumed. But I am sure the vacuum would have been taken care of and see how there will be seamless handing over and see how the governor resumes probably first thing tomorrow morning. I think that's what I can add on.
Okay.
Respond to your question.
Okay, I understand that Wisdom is back. Wisdom, it's great to have you back. We lost you for a moment. Maybe you want to pick up from where you stopped. But I'd also like you to add to this. We know that the governor expectedly should resume tomorrow and also his cabinet and the State House. Are there pending issues that you feel that once he resumes, he should look into, particularly during the tenure of the sole administrator? There have been talks around, for instance, the local government elections, the legality of it. Do you think these are some of the issues the governor, upon resumption of office, should look into or consider?
Thanks, Dakwa. I was going to say before that there's no vacuum up until 12 a.m. Tomorrow, 18th of September. The sole administrator remains in charge. But like I told you, he has already gone to Abuja for reports we are getting for the proper handover and transition and to do a formal report to Mr. President, which is, of course, the right thing to do. When the governor resumes, I'm not sure why any issue on the local government election should arise. You know, just recently, if you are aware, the High Court sitting in Port Harcourt has already ruled on a case regarding the local government elections, and the court has clearly said that the local government elections were held in accordance to the law, were held as it should be by the Rivers Independent Electoral Commission. By that law, the Local Government Act of Rivers State, it's not the governor that does election, it's the Rivers Independent Electoral Commission. So that has been followed duly, and the court has ruled on that matter. So I'm not sure that's an issue to revisit when the governor comes in. However, I think once the governor comes in, what the governor should indeed now focus on is to get governance, really up and running. We want to see that relationship and synergy with the House of Assembly, and of course, some engagement with the Speaker of the House, Martins Amewole, to begin to get other things up and running. For example, other states, about 15 states, have been able to set up their electricity market in their different states to be able to decentralize the Electricity Act of 2023 so that they can get up and running power issues in their state. Those are the kind of things we want to see that the governor or the State Assembly will quickly swift to action to begin to create laws that we can decentralize the acts to the state and be able to provide power. Power is essential for economic growth. So those are the things we want to see them focus on. And then there are a lot of projects that were ongoing, like the Port Harcourt Ring Road project, and also the completion of the Assembly complex, which we want to see that in their finishing stages, probably that the governor can now speed up and conclude. The sole administrator was able to do a bit of that, provide some funding. Of course, the budget was approved up until some certain time by the National Assembly, which may cause a bit of delay here and there. So the governor coming back, which we are very excited about. We're happy that the governor is returning back to office. We want to see speedy action in some of these areas I've mentioned. Power is a very critical aspect that can run a state. So electricity to all, we need to see that because there are many areas we're getting that are in darkness in the state. So those are some of the I think that the governor can focus on. But on the legality of the local government election, I'm not sure there's any issue with the election at all that needs to be revisited.
Okay, so I'm also asking you to Noble. Noble, are there issues or pending cases that you feel that upon resumption to work, the governor should look into, particularly during the tenure of the sole administrator? Because some are even calling for a probe into the tenure of the sole administrator. Part of it even has to do with certain appointments that were made. There was even a report of some sort that some of those who worked under him were old, and some sort of subtle protest did come up. So do you think these are areas or some areas that the governor needs to look into upon resumption? Should he probe the administration of the sole administrator?
Okay, I would like to say that we should already learn from the setback that we have had, the governor's setback he has had in these 6 months, and to be better to start on a new slate, because dragging any other pending issues forward is going to create another problem, maybe unforeseen problem. And I think the governor should move on, so I can liaise better with the House of Assembly, and they should set the template for a better working environment. The issues left behind by the SOLA, like the local government civil servants verification exercise and the pending payments that we saw on the social media today, those are internal issues that can be looked into or committees set and resolved amicably. So I don't think we should go into any matter that is going to raise another dust again.
Let's also look at this talks around probable defection, by the governor. Do you see that happening?
I think I don't have the authority to talk on that because I'm not the governor. It is only the governor.
No, I'm just asking. I'm asking you as a concerned citizen of the state.
Seeing the body movements of the system now, I think it's very possible, but like I said, the governor only can speak on that.
How about you, Wisdom?
Well, considering in the last local government election, we saw 20 state local government go to the APC. That was really a strange move. But you see that what is happening there is that the APC is gaining dominance in the state. So we are not sure yet, but I think the body language of the state may be tilting towards that direction, as of course a recognition of the support of Mr. President in the state. So we don't know yet. We can only be able to tell when the governor returns tomorrow and watch his body language for the next couple of weeks to be able to determine. But when you have 20 of your local government already in the APC, it leaves you little or no a choice at the end of the day, because the grassroots has moved. How do you function if the grassroots has moved somewhere else? So, but there are all permutations. We'll keep looking at it. I mean, the PDP will be hit hard if they lose the governor of Rivers State to the APC.
All right, let's go on a quick break, gentlemen. When we return, we'll definitely be taking our final thoughts on this matter. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. I still have my guest with me. Sam Yohana is the former organizing secretary of the All Progressives Congress. Wisdom Chap Jumbo, a public affairs analyst, and Noble Mwolu is the former youth president of Ogale. Gentlemen, thank you for staying with me. Now, before I let you go, let me start with you, Sam Yohana. I mean, in the coming weeks for you, what do you consider priority for the State House of Assembly and Mr. Governor and his cabinet?
For the 6 months that they've all been idle, I'm sure there's a lot for them now to attend to when they resume. And I expect there will be peace and harmony in how they conduct themselves. Because the state, whether we like it or not, have been left behind for a very, very long time. 6 months is not 6 days or 6 weeks. There's a lot of work to be done. And like I said, peace and harmony is key in whatever they're going to do now, to see how the dividend of democracy that the Rivers people have been yearning for, it is dished out to them in no time. And for the Minister of FCT, I'm sure by now, some of the issues that were there before the state of emergency would have been resolved now. So I expect him to give the governor all the support he needs so that him and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odum, will concentrate and see how they carry out their responsibility.
All right, thank you very much. I'd also like to direct the same question to you, to Noble. But Noble, we also understand that the former governor of the state, Nyesom Wike, who is now the FCT minister, has hailed President Tinubu for lifting, that's the state of emergency rule in the state. I mean, looking at what we are seeing now and looking forward, do you think that the minister still plays a pivotal role in the politics of the state? How much of a role do you see moving forward?
Okay, like we all know and can see that the minister has assumed his position as the leader of the politics in the state, and the role that he played in the lifting of the state of emergency, it cannot be overemphasized. And as the father of the politics, he has a major role to play to make sure that this peace is sustained. I see the governor and the minister of FCT working closely together, and I see a lasting peace come back to Rivers State that will bring about meaningful developments and prosperity.
All right. Your final thoughts, Wisdom.
Next coming days, of course, is we want to see more of that unity between the governor and the House of Assembly. We also want to see the governor move to unite the grassroots, especially his followers, who, of course, many of them are still a little bit disgruntled with what is happening. But we want to see him lead to, of course, unite the grassroots even more stronger. We also want to see him move up to speed with quite a lot of things around governance. One thing that has lacked in the last 6 months was, no commissioners in a lot of the ministries to man the activities. There's little or more that permanent secretaries can really do if the commissioners are not there. So a lot, of course, we acknowledge may have been left behind. So we want to see that, up and running and moving forward. But generally, is to move forward on all issues, see peace, unity, and harmony amongst all our leaders, which that responsibility now falls back again on the governor to indeed lead by that example to unite the states. We want to see this peace grow and continue to grow. That's our interest, and we're really excited to have the governor back to office to lead this charge. So we wish him all the best and welcome him wholeheartedly back to the state.
All right, thank you so much for your time, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure having you on the program. Once again, thank you.